All right, this is going to be a very short live, I think. I have a new student who is coming. I don't know exactly when they'll be here. So we're just going to throw until she shows up. And yeah, so the idea today is double walled heart cups again. However, we've been making kind of traditional you know me, where we're doing hi. Hi, hi. How are you guys? Um, this what? What's happening on? What's going? What's happening? Um, so we're going to be doing like shallower T-bowl style double walled heart cups. Again, I have no idea when she's going to show up. She told me 45 minutes, but then kind of messaged saying she was closer than that. Um, Originally, I thought it was at 11. So we're just going to go from there. Oh, hell yeah. That sounds lovely. What's the musical? And also, I know that the heart pattern didn't work as well, but I think some of them that we do today are going to be the heart pattern didn't work as well on undulating pieces. Didn't finish the thought, but I think I still want to do a couple like that. What's it about? Obviously, not all of these will be undulating, just some of them. Well, I don't know if that's obvious or not, but I'm telling you right now. Now, the question is that wide enough? And I think it is. I'm going to go slightly wider, and if it collapses, it collapses. So we're using 275 grams for the exterior and 250 grams for the interior today. Okay, good. Gotcha. Interesting. I'm curious how it goes. James, how are you? Okay. Do I need to torch these? And the answer is no, because since this woman is coming, um, I have no idea how long these will be sitting. I don't know how long this lesson's going to be. I don't know what her skill level is. I know nothing. So we're going to just go little by little. Oh, have you seen it before? Yeah. Mystery lesson. She messaged me on Instagram like 3 days ago asking for a lesson today. She'll be, I guess, in town here for a little bit. So I again, I don't, never met the person before, to my knowledge. There's a chance I have met the person before and I just don't know. They have a private Instagram account, so I don't know. Gotcha. This is a form that I always thought would sell really well because it's very similar to like a just very simple Kung Fu tulip cup form. But it's so hit or miss, right? That's what I'm thinking too. I'm kind of confused as to why this form is never done as well as I thought it would. I really like it though. And it's kind of like listing on the side of the undulating forms without not. You know what I mean? Imagine it with a small baby foot. Thanks, Amanda. I think we should at least be able to get all the bodies done before she gets here. Um, I don't think we're going to be able to get any of the interiors done, but maybe. I don't know. People have no taste. Well said. It's, it is something that has perplexed me for many a year. They like it when it's like Zusha clay or Yixing clay or however you pronounce it. But when you make it anything outside of like white and blue porcelain, I don't know. So I think with the shrinkage rate, these are going to be a really nice size. This clay shrinks 14.25%. So I think when it shrinks, it'll be really sweet. Like I think they're too big right now, personally. But I think later on they'll be a really great size. It's weird throwing these ones because they have no base. I throw because it's the exterior layer. I throw to the floor on these um, to make them as thin as possible. Hi, hi. And I think some of these will actually. I'd love one of these that comes inward a little bit, maybe. You know, like maybe it. We can't do that now. That happens after we add the um, interior layer. But maybe that's something that we could do. That's like it comes out and then goes in, kind of like a wobble cup. Ooh, love to hear it. Are these any of these handles on the mugs that after we were talking, or are these different mugs? Gotcha. I know this is kind of a boring form, right? I think these are going to be really good sizes when they shrink, but like they'll be perfect. Um, they'll be this size when it shrinks. You know, I think it's boring. But the point of these is not necessarily the forms of the pots. It's more about the um, what we're gonna do to them afterwards. So I'm glad you like them though. These wooden bats are annoying because they ride up a little bit because they're thick. And then the other thing I don't like about them is they just seem very hard to get off the wheel. Oh, we're doing 6 of these, by the way. Okay, it's only been, we've done 5 and it's only been 10 minutes. So, um, we might be able to get most of the interiors done too. Though we have to torch them to get them off the wheels, so maybe not. I don't know. Appreciate it, Dragon. All right, so these last 2 are going to undulate. Oh yeah, then we can crank through stuff if we're not torching. We can crank through stuff if we're not poking out the holes too. So if we just do everything in different segments, we can kind of make more stuff, which is kind of a cool thing to think about. Which, I mean, it makes sense. I just usually like to do everything in one go. But these heart things, I've realized, they need to be pretty hard for them to actually be able to be carved without breaking. So I'm realizing that they have to be like very dry, but obviously not so dry that I can't do it. So it's like, it's a tough one. Also, the fact that it takes me about 3 hours per cup now, depending on which heart style I decide to put into it. Oof. And that's, I haven't even glazed it with any other glaze outside of the underglaze at that point, and I haven't sanded it yet at that point. These cups are going to be a lot more expensive. Oh my God, Potato Man. I have been. I've been eating sweet potatoes left and right, thinking about when you will return. How are you? This is the highlight of my day right now. It's always good to have such a celebrity in the chat. Oh, I'm 100% gonna be making the heart cups expensive. Good. All is well here. We're just trying to crank through some stuff before a private lesson shows up. And I'm not sure when she's showing up. It's like in the next 5 to 40 minutes. But I don't really know. But yeah, the heart cups are definitely going to be more expensive. I know. Well, that's what happens when you like, private lessons at a home studio are interesting because it's like you can make kind of plans with people sometimes. And then since you're not here all the time, it makes it difficult because they think you're like a business, but you're not. It's a whole thing. James, or sorry, not James, Potato Man. I went to art school for metal sculpture, and I quit doing the metal sculpture my sophomore year. Wasn't sure what to do with my time, and I found pottery right around my senior year. I was actually building a yurt for my thesis at the time, and I was like, "Fuck making a yurt! I want to make pottery." My aunt's a potter. I always wanted to try it. There was no one to teach me, so I taught myself, and I pivoted full 180. I made teaware and sake ware for my thesis for college, and kind of talked about um, flameware and about the importance of craft in the art world and how ridiculous the art world is and how void of craft it is. So, anyway, I taught myself. I've never had a private lesson before. I've taken workshops with a lot of cool people, but I've never had like a one-on-one lesson in my life where someone was like, "This is how you do this." So I've given a lot of those lessons. I've never had one myself. Okay, so that's the last base. I mean, you're not wrong, Dragon. People do show up. I try to be very clear that you can't do that. Um, and I appreciate people a lot of the time calling ahead before trying to show up at my house because I'm like, I'm probably not there. And if I am there, I don't want to see you because I'm not in the studio. And even if I am in the studio, I don't have any work in there. They want to, it's like, it's one of those things where they like want to come, and I really appreciate it. They want to come and buy pottery. I don't have pottery for sale that you can see. None of my work is in my actual studio, and I don't keep it here ever, except for like a show, like Clayway. So we're at uh, just shy of 3 inches for this guy. So it's tricky. I appreciate people have been pretty good about respecting boundaries recently. So I do really appreciate that. Um, and realize that I am not like a business. I'm an online business that I do stuff like this and do private lessons and all that. You do? Well, hi there. Clayway is always the weekend after Indigenous Peoples Day. Um, so I think that's always in October. So we will have to be torching these. These are now, we're moving over to the interiors. Indigenous Peoples Day, the weekend after that. And then there's also a pottery tour the weekend before called Potter's Path. And then the same weekend I do mine is the Hudson Valley Pottery Tour. Um, we start ours first, and I don't mind sharing the days at all. I think it's kind of nice to have, I mean, we're not taking each other's clientele, everybody's pretty spread out. But I got this pretty angry Instagram message from the Hudson Valley Pottery Tour account being like, "You guys should move your day because we've been doing this for 8 years. We've been doing this for 10 years. Um, and they're like, blah, 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 blah. They're just being like super weird, super like, you should have to do it because we're more important than you guys. Um, all I was ever doing was supporting them and promoting them on the Clayway account. So I don't know why they had such a big issue. I still think you guys should go to the Hudson Valley Pottery Tour because there's some awesome potters on there. I don't know who runs that account. I wouldn't go to whoever runs the account's studio because they seem like a dick. But that doesn't mean that the rest of the people on the tour are dicks. So I still think it's kind of a nice tour to go on. I've never been able to do it, obviously, because it's the same weekend as mine, and it always has been because ours was first. But I do think it's a great group of people. So anyway, that's my spiel. I was not expecting that though. I literally had reposted and like tag them and put them into my stories and be like, oh, if you guys are not in the area, you should check out this one. And they literally responded with hate, like a large amount of hate to me. It's like, oh, you guys suck. Again, yeah, I think it is too. And they were saying it very like boomer passive aggressive, the way they were talking to me. Oh, one of the undulating pots just collapsed that we made. The first one we made. Maybe I should torch the second one. Check this out. This is what happens when you undulate thin pots. Check it out. Because of that, I'm gonna give the other undulating. I don't think the other ones will be fine. That's been a very like normal thing to happen with my pottery because of how much force I'm giving it and how much bellying I'm doing. Okay, I just torched the one that this one's for. So luckily I was making this for the one we just came off the wheel, so it's fine. And then after this comes off the wheel, I'm gonna head off. That person will be here any second. I just wanna move all my pots out of the way so they can have some space. Because I don't know when I'll be come back, the thing to think about is you definitely should get a torch. The thing to think about is, so as soon as we trim these, we're gonna then, I have a little handheld blowy thingy. I can't remember what the word is right now. Whatever, it'll come to me after the video ends. But we're gonna spray these pink, just the exterior after we trim it. Then we have to torch it again. And then we have to connect them. And then we're gonna torch the outsides of the main piece and the inside of this at that time after we trim the other piece. And then we're done with the pink, and then we have to just wait everything to dry out. Anyway, again, here's I'm gonna let you guys just watch this collapsed pot rotate for a second. Again, that's a very, very, very common occurrence if you undulate your pots out of porcelain. So that's something that I'm used to happening, and it's been happening for years now. I mean, that's such a staple part of just the process for me at this point. Um, but again, it's like, who cares? They took literally no time to throw them. Right? We threw all of our exteriors. They all take about a minute and a half to throw or whatever. They're super quick. And you just sell it like this, fire it up. You know, could be an orchid pot or something. Actually, would be a very cool orchid pot like that. Right? We barely even have to put any drainage holes in it or anything. The problem is it's way too small for an orchid pot. Like if I made this big and then let it just collapse like this, it could actually be really cool. But at this scale, when this shrinks, what are you going to put a micro orchid in here? There's not. It's not going to hold anything. But it would be really cool. Also, be a cool hanging piece. Huh? Have these coming off the walls. No, that's stupid. Now that I put up on the wall, it looks dumb. All right. You know what's crazy too is one of the reasons I started adding silica sand outside of the texture, liking the texture. A big factor was so this happened less. I added a little bit of silica sand into the clay this morning. I did not add that much. I didn't have that much. So, tis what it is. So here's a technique that I don't ever use, but I do when it's too hot. Is the technique for drying out your schmutzed clay, make it into a rainbow, and then it just dries out a little bit faster. Okay, I'm gonna dry my hands, and I'm gonna wait until this person gets here. I hope all of you guys have a wonderful day. Happy Valentine's Day, I think is today. So happy Valentine's Day to everybody. And I will be back after my lesson ends. Maybe. They smell really